Hi everyone, it's Minx Laura 123, and just before you watch my monthly reading wrap-up video, I have a giveaway for you. For all my fellow bookworm buddies out there, I am giving away this awesome book-themed bag. So as you can see, there is a pile of books on it, and it says, "I like big books and I cannot lie." It's quite a big bag as well, so you can use it to well, carry your books around in and stuff. So if you would like to be in with a chance of winning this awesome bag, all you've got to do is put the word enter down below in the comment section, and then I'll know that everyone who puts that word wants to be entered into the contest. So good luck to everyone. There's only one rule. You do have to be a subscriber of my channel to enter this contest. So if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. And yeah, you can enter the contest from wherever you live in the world. So good luck to you all, and I hope you enjoy the video. Hi everyone, and welcome to this video. I'm Minx Laura 123, and this is going to be my monthly reading wrap up for the month of June. So I'll be telling you about the books I read, what rating I give them, etc. And hopefully, giving you some ideas for books that you would like to read yourself. Now, if you enjoy watching the video, which I hope you do, please click like, comment, share and subscribe to my channel. That would be awesome. Oh, and please smash the notification bell to all notifications. Okay, also in this video I have some fun TBR games. I love doing the TBR games, and also I'll be telling you about the book that I'm currently reading. So I have my Goodreads here on my phone. I'm just going to be looking through here and just quickly telling you the books that I read and a little bit about them and what rating I give them. I'm trying to make this video as quick as possible because it's super hot. I'm not really in a filming mood, if I'm honest, because it's so hot and humid and horrible. However, it is the 1st of July and I always like getting my reading wrap up kind of done the very first few days of the month. So, what can I say? Right, so the first book I read was We Had to Remove This Post by Hannah Bervoets. By the way, there's the cover there. I'll put the link down below to all of the books I mentioned on their Goodreads page, so you can read people's reviews, you can find out about the book in more detail. This is going to be like a little quick brief thing about each book, but if you want to know more, you can check it out down below. Talking about Goodreads, come and follow me on Goodreads. My link is down below to that. This book was horrible. I absolutely hated it. I did DNF it. I couldn't stand it. So it's about this girl. She's desperate for work. So she finds this job as a content moderator for a social media platform. And they have to kind of review offensive videos, pictures, rants, conspiracy theories, etc. It was just such a horrible, dark book. It was very triggering. It was upsetting to read. Just, I know what the story was about beforehand, but I didn't know that the author was going to go into it quite as explicitly. Like, it just felt a bit too much detail. It was very horrible. So I stopped reading that and give it a 1 star. Next book I read was The Ghost of Rose Hill by R.M. Romero. This was such a beautiful book. I really love this, and it had Jewish rep, which is brilliant because I'm Jewish, and there needs to be more Jewish rep in books. Thank you. Okay. But this one, absolutely sweet. It was spellbinding. So this was wrote in verse, and it says here, channels the spirit of myth into a brilliantly original tale inspired by the author's experiences restoring Jewish cemeteries in Eastern Europe. And yeah, she goes around, restores them, which I think is so beautiful. So it's about this main character called Alana Lopez. She's a biracial Jewish girl. She's sent to live with her aunt, and behind her aunt's house they have like this old Jewish cemetery, and she kind of wanders around, and then she meets this boy, Benjamin, who just happens to be a ghost. So it's kind of like a romance, but also there's a lot more going on as well. It's a really beautiful story. It's very sad at times, but also very touching. So yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I gave it a 4 stars. I would have given it a 5 stars, but I thought it was a little bit predictable, and I'm quite a tough judge when it comes to my book ratings. But yeah, it was really good. Next one I read was Book of Night by Holly Black. Oh, I really wanted to enjoy this. I love Holly Black books normally, but this is the first in a series. I won't be continuing on with the series. I'm probably in the minority because I know that a lot of people have loved and raved about this book, but I just didn't enjoy it. I didn't really get the magic aspect of it, the whole kind of people have shadows and the shadows come to life and it can be manipulated and there's con artists. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't really like the characters, so I kind of, skimmed through it just to find out what happened. But even at the end when I skimmed through it, I was like, what? So yeah, I didn't like it at all. So yeah, 1 star. I'm sorry. And I won't be continuing on with that. You've Reached Sam, I read next by Dustin Theo. That was so cute. I read 2 books last month that was so similar. I'll tell you about the other one in a bit. But You've Reached Sam made me cry. It was very emotional. It's about this character called Julie, and like she's got all her life planned out with her boyfriend. They're going to do this, they're going to go here, and then he dies in a car accident. It's very sad. So this book kind of deals with grief and stuff, but there's a lot more to it because it is a paranormal love themed book. It's a YA. And yeah, they like kind of communicate with each other through the phone, like text messages and stuff. It's a bit weird, it's a bit out there, but I did really like it, and it was just beautifully wrote and made me very emotional. So yeah, really good book, and I give it a 4 star. The only reason I did give it 5 was, once again, it's a little bit predictable for me at the end. I was like, yeah, okay, but I did like the aspect of not knowing if she was imagining it, like if it was grief making her think that she was communicating, or if it was paranormal that they were communicating. I did, it was kind of like throughout the book, you don't know what's the situation. So yeah, it was good. Next book I read was The Last Summer at the Golden Hotel by Lisa Friedland. Oh, I didn't like this book. This was supposed to be a retelling, reimagining of Dirty Dancing, which is my favourite film of all time. I mean, I kind of get the similarity that they're both based at like this kind of holiday resort thing, and it's like a Jewish resort, and there's families and there's dramas. I do get that, but I just didn't like the characters. And it's really weird to say this because the author's Jewish, the characters are Jewish, but there were so many anti-Semitic tropes in this book. I really felt uncomfortable reading it. I'd got like halfway through and there was just so many like little digs, and I didn't like it, and I was feeling quite uncomfortable and thought, don't like this. So yeah, that and the fact that I wasn't really enjoying it, I stopped reading it and I give it a 1 star. Next up, I read The Curfew by T.M. Logan. This was really good. I like this book. This was a good thriller. Picked it up from my local library. So yeah, it's about these parents called Andy and Laura. Good name, Laura. Haha. They're really nice. I like both of them, even though throughout the book I was thinking, are they trustworthy? But anyway, so they have a son called Connor, and he passes his exams. He goes out to celebrate with his friends into the woods, and they have like this party and drinks and stuff. And he's always good, like when he's been told to come back at a certain time, he does. Apart from this night, he gets the curfew, but he doesn't come back. Anyway, a girl goes missing, and he's kind of number one suspect in her missing. And anyway, it's really good, and everyone's kind of pointing the fingers at him and stuff, but you have to read it to find out what happens. But it was really good. I did like the ending as well. It's very kind of shocking. I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, really like that author, and the book was good. I gave it a 4 stars. We Are Inevitable by Gail Forman. Oh my god, this book was adorable, absolutely adorable. So this is a YA contemporary, and I thought it was a romance, but it's actually a hell of a lot more than a romance. There is a bit of romance in it, but that's not the main part of the story actually. So there's this boy called Aaron, and all his friends have kind of gone on to college and doing their thing, and he's kind of stayed in the same town where he's been all his life with his dad, who owns a like secondhand bookshop, which isn't doing particularly well. They're in a lot of debt and stuff, but he's trying to kind of help him out and stuff. Then he meets this girl called Hannah, who's in a band, and as I say, there's a bit of romance, but it's all about kind of trying to save the bookshop and stuff like that, and family. It deals with grief, it deals with addiction. There's so much going on in this book. It's not just the romance that I originally thought it was, and it was touching. I love the fact that it was about books. I love the fact that it had family and love and just like music and just everything. The characters were brilliant. I loved it. Really, really good. It was quite funny at times as well, actually. So yeah, 5 stars for We Are Inevitable. Next up, I read Mark Klein's In Between. This is now a film on Netflix, which I will be watching at some point this week. I didn't get around to it last week, but I will this week, because I want to see it kind of come to life on the screen. Pretty much similar to You've Reached Sam, as I said before. Oh, sorry, I started coughing there. Very much the same in the fact that, like, boyfriend dies, girl kind of communicates with him via phone and stuff. Like, and this one they actually, well, I won't give any spoilers, but they kind of meet as well. But anyway, Yeah, it was a beautiful story, and it also made me cry like You've Reached Sam did. So I gave that a 4 stars, and I really want to see the film of it. Paranormal Love is great, right? I love it. And like communicating via phone and stuff. How cool would that be? Like, it's sad, obviously, but like to be able to communicate with someone who you've lost, like just send them a text or give them a call, like, oh, it'd be amazing. So yeah, I really like that one. Next up, Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas. I had this on audiobook. I've now got Audible, which I love. I listen to audiobooks when I'm in the bath or when I'm doing housework, when I'm having a walk, that kind of thing. This book started off good. Like, I was enjoying listening to it, and then as it went on, I was getting a bit bored. And also, like, the main character, the guy, he was such a nasty piece of work. Like, just didn't like how he spoke to the girl in the book, and like it was quite disrespectful and stuff. So basically these two is Misha and Ryan. They've been pen pals for years, since they were like little kids. Now they've grown up, like older teenage kind of years. And he by accident they go to a club, like the same club, and he sees her, he meets her, but he doesn't say who he is because they've never sent photos of each other, but he's on the sly, has kind of looked her up on Facebook, so he knows what she looks like, but he's never told her that. So they meet, and she's very different to how he kind of imagines her to be. And then his sister gets killed, and then he goes to live in the same area, never telling her who he is, by the way. And he's out for revenge for his sister and other stuff. And yeah, it's a bit weird, but it was all right. And then, as I say, this character of the guy was just such a horrible person. I couldn't bear listening to it. He was just horrible. So I give it a 2.5, because, well, on Goodreads it has to be a 2 because there's no half points, which they should do. But I would give it a 2.5 because I did enjoy some of it. But he was a nasty piece of work. He really was. The next book I read, I absolutely freaking loved. Sisters in Arms by Kaya Alderson. This book I'd never heard of before. I was in the library one day, as you are, and I just saw it. I was drawn to it. I don't know what it was, like a magnet. I felt drawn to it. So this is fiction, but it is based on a true story. So it's based on the true story of the 688, the Sisters in Arms. Explores the untold story of what life was like for the only all-black female US battalion to be deployed overseas during World War II. So there's 2 main characters. You've got Grace and Eliza from completely different backgrounds and lives and stuff, but you know, not only do they have to deal with like the boot camp and training and stuff, but they're also, you know, having to deal with horrible things like the racist things that are said to them and done to them. It was very emotional, actually, this book, and quite hard hitting to read at sight. Like, times were really upsetting me, because these characters were so amazing and they were just getting treated so horribly. But they were such strong females, and I love reading books about strong females. And it was just really interesting, and knowing it was based on a true story as well just kind of added to it. Really, really good. I really enjoyed this book. Not my main thing normally. I don't really read like war historical fiction books, but I just loved it. It was so good, so good. So I give that a 5 stars. Next up, I read Jennifer Moffat's Those Who Pray. This was a YA thriller about a cult. I don't know what it is. I love reading books about cults and watching documentaries about cults. I've never been in a cult, can I just add? I just find it fascinating and interesting. So it says here, Sadie Meets the Girls. I've read both of them and love them both. So this one's about a girl called Emily. She goes to college. It's not what she expected it to be. She doesn't really make any friends or anything. And she ends up being a bit of a loner. And then she kind of gets sucked in by this group of people who make her feel special. This guy makes out he like fancies her and stuff, and she makes friends. And then she ends up being a part of this really like ultra religious cult. And yeah, they go to Italy trying to kind of get people to convert to them, and it's all a bit weird. But yeah, it was quite dark at times, and obviously anything with cults is quite hard to read and stuff. But really well done, really, really well wrote, and the thriller aspect of it was good. I really like the main character. The reason why I didn't give it a 5 star, give it a 4 star, is because at one point, without giving spoilers, she got away from the cult. She could tell that they were doing bad stuff, right? But then she went back to the cult. But anyway, I just thought, why would you go anywhere near them? They're scary mofos. Like, keep away from them. But she was like, yeah, I'm just going to go back here. It's like, why? Don't go anywhere near them. Run away. But, you know, it was really good apart from that. That was a bit silly. Next up, I read You, Me and Our Heartstrings by Melissa C. I really wanted to like this because it was super cute and super fluffy. But I think it was a bit too super cute and too super fluffy for me. I give it 2 stars. I'm sorry. It's about Daisy and Noah, and they both want to land a place at Juilliard, and they're both really beautiful and talented musicians. Their characters were lovely, like super lovely, super sweet. And there's mental health rep in here. The guy, what's his called? Noah, yeah. So he has really like bad crippling anxiety, and the girl Daisy, she has cerebral palsy. So there's disabled rep, there's mental health rep, which is brilliant. But yeah, I don't know. I just found it a little bit like, I don't know, maybe it was too young for me. Maybe I'm just not the right audience that's intended to read it. I don't know. But it was just a bit wishy-washy and a bit predictable. Next up, I read Gideon Green in Black and White by Katie Henry. This one, I really started to enjoy at the beginning. I was loving it. And then it just got a bit silly, I suppose. So basically, it's about this boy called Gideon. And he was a little kind of like boy detective in his local area. He got famous. He was on the news because he'd solved this really big crime. And then, yeah, he had this best friend called Lily. They used to be like detectives together. And then she kind of got older, into other things, new friends, kind of left him on his own. He's a bit out there. Like, I loved his character. He was adorable. He wore like a leather coat in the summer and his Fedora hat. And he just spent most of his time indoors watching films and like reading noir books and films. Like, he was a cool character. I loved him. But the story just got a bit silly. It was supposed to be like a thriller, crime, mystery thing, but it was just a bit silly. I didn't really get it. It was a bit overboard, weird. But yeah, I don't know. Lily basically abandoned him. She works now on the school newspaper. She's doing this project. She doesn't know what to do. So she goes back to Gideon and is like, look, you used to be good at being a detective. Do you want to help me out with this case that I'm writing for my project on the newspaper? So he joins the newspaper. They kind of become friends again. But like the way she just ditched him when he was younger and just kind of went, yeah, see you later. And then wants him back when she wants something. I'd have been like, no, actually, go away. But anyway, he befriends her and stuff. But yeah, it was all right. It was okay. It wasn't really what I was expecting, but it was okay. But as a character, like Gideon Green, amazing character. So I'll give that 3 stars. Magic for Liars, I read next by Sarah Gailey. I'd wanted to read this for so long, like seriously. So when I got it on eBay, I was like, yes, finally. But it started off so well. The first half of this book, I was like, yeah, 5 stars, 100%, love this. And then it just got really odd. So it's about these 2 girls, they're twins, Ivy and Tabitha. Tabitha has magical powers, Ivy doesn't. And so Tabitha kind of had her life growing up at this magical school. It's kind of not Hogwarts, you know, there's no moving staircases or anything. It's literally like a normal high school, but they just happen to be students who are, you know, have magical talents and stuff, right? So Ivy doesn't have any of the talent, so she kind of does her own thing, and she ends up being this like private detective. She's got a bit of a drinking problem, she's quite a loner, and anyway, one day she gets a visit from the headmaster of this, or headmistress, sorry, of this school, and she's like, look, there's been a teacher really horribly murdered, and we would like you to come and help, you know, solve the case of what happened, you know. So she goes to the school, she sees her sister that she hasn't seen for like years, and it's, you know, I like, some of the magic was cool, and the story was cool, the characters were interesting. I loved Ivy, and I could tell Tabitha wasn't as nice as she seemed, and you know, but then it just went really odd. They started doing like abortions at the school, which I don't know, it's just a bit odd. It went from really good to just yeah, and some of the scenes actually were quite gruesome as well. They're very like explicitly gruesome described scenes, and yeah, I just didn't like it in the end. So I give it a 3 star because the first half, I would say, I really liked, but the second half, didn't like at all. So the next book I read was Such a Good Liar by Sue Warman. I really wanted to like this one because I love Sue Warman books. And I was gifted this book as well. So I kept feeling really guilty because I wasn't enjoying it. But I was like, oh my God, I've been gifted this book by someone on my throne. By the way, I've got a throne wish list down below. Do you want to spoil me? But yeah, someone had gifted me this really kindly. And I kept trying to get into it. But I just couldn't. I couldn't enjoy it. I wasn't enjoying it. So I did DNF it. And I feel really guilty about that, actually. But it is what it is. I just couldn't get into it. It's about this girl called Lydia. Well, she wasn't Lydia, she was Shannon. She was pretending to be Lydia, and she goes off to this like island, remote island, populated by all these like wealthy families. and stuff, and she's out there to kind of get revenge for the death of her mother, and this family have something to do with it, and she pretends to be this other character, and I just got really confused by it. It was just a bit over the top. It was a bit silly, a bit kind of unbelievable. Like, this young girl, you know, was given a loan, and I don't know, it was weird. It was silly, very silly. I would still try and read Sue Warman in the future, I think, but that one, not so much. I give it a 1 star because I did DNF it. And the last book I read in June was Sherwood by Megan Spooner. So this one I got from the library. It was literally on a little trolley as you go in, a free book. So I grabbed it, and it's kind of like a reimagining, retelling of Robin Hood. So I know a little bit about Robin Hood, but I don't, like, I'm not a massive Robin Hood fan or anything. So I kind of went into this book kind of open-minded, and I love the fact that there was a strong female lead. It's kind of now like basically Maid Marian is now, you know, the lead, and she does all the stuff that Robin did. Robin's dead, he's been killed, so she's like stepped up. I like that aspect of it, and I did start to really enjoy it. But the thing is, it was like 500 pages, and I don't know if it was me that I wasn't in the right headspace for a fantasy book, but I wasn't like grabbing to pick it up. I know that if I'm really enjoying a book, I just want to pick it up all the time. I want to read. But if I'm not feeling a book, I end up like going on social media or watching TV or just anything but reading. And I felt that was happening with that one. I got over, I think I got over halfway or near about halfway, and I just thought, oh, I can't carry on. It's just so big book, and it's, I'm not, you know, overly excited about it. So there's nothing wrong with the book. It's me. It's not you, it's me with this kind of thing. Because I just wasn't really in the mood for it. I don't know. Maybe I'm not a Robin Hood fan. I don't know what it was. But yeah, I gave it only 2 stars because I did obviously DNF it. But I think it was cool. Like, it would have been cool maybe if I would have been in the mood more for a fantasy. I don't know. I don't know what it was. But yeah. So my book of the month, I mean, as I say, there wasn't that many books that I really super duper enjoyed, but I'd say my book of the month would have to be, drum roll, Sisters in Arms by Kayla Alderson, because it was just fantastic. As I say, not my normal kind of genre that I'd read, what war, historical fiction, but it was so good. The characters was good. It was emotional, and it's based on a true story, which is, you know, really loved it. Really loved it. I'll definitely read more from that author again. Just amazing. Absolutely amazing. And it made me feel something. It made me feel love for these characters and rooting for them, and the story was so interesting. And yeah, all in all, 5 stars. Brilliant. And my book of the month. Yay! Okay, so really quickly, I'm going to tell you about my current read and show you it, and then we'll do the TBR games. So I hope you enjoy the TBR games. They're really fun to do. I want to say a big shout out and thank you to my lovely fiance Nathan, because he always helps me with my TBR games. It's always good fun. And yeah, there we go. Thank you, Nathan. Not that he's watching this because he doesn't watch my videos, but I just wanted to shout him out to say thank you. So yes, this is my current read, Book Lovers by Emily Henry. This author is so super hyped, right? Everyone goes on about Emily Henry and Colleen Hoover. So I've read Colleen Hoover books. Clearly, I'm a big fan, but I wanted to check out Emily Henry books as well. So yeah, Book Lovers, this is a library book, and it says here, one summer, 2 rivals, a plot twist they didn't see coming. Lovely cover, so super cute. So it says Nora is a cutthroat literature, I can never say this word, literary agent at the top of her game. Her whole life is books. Charlie is an editor with a gift for creating bestsellers, and he's Nora's work nemesis. So it's enemies to lovers kind of thing, right? Nora has been through enough breakups to know that she's the only can't read. Nora has been through enough breakups to know she's the one, there we go, men date before finding their happily ever after. To prevent another dating dud, Nora's sister persuades her to swap her city desk for a month's holiday in Sunshine Falls. It's a small town straight out of a romance novel, but instead of meeting sexy lumberjacks, handsome doctors or cute bartenders, Nora keeps bumping into Charlie. It says here, she's no heroine, he's no hero. So can they take a page out of an entirely different book? It's super cute. It's very funny, but it's also quite emotional. Her mum has died, and like, so throughout what I'm reading so far, like, she'll bring up things about her mum, and it's really sad and stuff. So obviously dealing with grief, and I love that kind of enemies to lovers thing. They've met once and they did not get on, but now they're in the same area, and obviously there's going to be a romance. But yeah, it's really good. So I'm definitely going to be a fan of this author because I'm really enjoying her writing style. And I'm only on page 58. So I'm going to do some reading tonight and, you know, get through that one. So there we go. Tell me what you're reading in the comments. Now it's time for the TBR games. So enjoy those. Don't forget to click like, comment, share, subscribe. Check out my Goodreads page. Check out my social media links down below. Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. And check out my other ASMR channel, my other YouTube channel, sorry, my ASMR channel, MinxLaura123 ASMR. I do videos to help people relax and sleep and chill. If you've got, you know, stress and you want to calm down, let my videos help you. Okay, everyone, so carry on watching for the TBR games. Let's do it, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, everyone, so now we're going to play TBR roulette. Are you excited, Nathan?
Always.
So, as you can see on the roulette board, we have lots of bits of paper, and they all have names of books on from my mini book piles in our bedroom. They're all on a different number. We are going to put the ball in. We're going to spin it.
I'll show you. Yeah, like this.
Like this isn't the choice. This is just what we're going to do.
You drop the ball in normally.
I drop the ball. And then we basically just see what number corresponds with what book. So what would that have been?
Number 28, which is
But it's not this book.
But we're not going to look.
Okay.
But it would have been number 28.
So that's what basically happens.
Yes. So
you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm going to spin it and you're going to drop the ball in, remember?
Oh, okay. Now, last time I just messed it up, so I've got to do it properly. Ready?
Yep.
Ah! There we go.
Away it goes.
Come on. TBR roulette. Pick me a good book that I'm going to enjoy. Oh, it's landed on something. What is it? What is it?
Number 1.
Is it?
It
Can you see that quick?
I've
there
got
we
good
go.
eyes.
Yeah, I've got good eyes. Number 1 it is.
Which is that one. So, I'm going to see it before you.
Okay. What is it?
It is The Beautiful Ones.
The Beautiful One. Oh, that I think is Sylvia Marina Garcia.
Oh,
and I love her books,
yeah.
so I'm happy with that.
The Beautiful Ones.
Yeah, The Beautiful Ones. Oh, wicked. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well done. Thank you. That is the book that has been chosen from the TBR roulette game. And yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. Whoop. Okay, so now we're going to do another TBR game. This is very exciting. This is called, Nathan has thought of a name, because all I was calling it was TBR with the boxes, which is a really boring name. So we thought of an idea.
It's Roll a Dice.
Pick a book. Roll a dice, pick a book. Would you like to explain to me, sir, how this game works? Or not to me, to the viewers.
In case the name wasn't obvious enough, this is a game involving boxes filled to the brim with books. Not actual books.
No, I was going to say bits of paper.
They'd be very
books,
small books if they fit in there.
All books that I've never read, and they're on my bookcases.
And there's 2 dice.
As modelled by me.
On each box, there are numbers. 2, 3 and 4 is on the thriller mystery box. 5, 6 and 7 is on the general fiction box. I can't say. 8, 9 and 10 is on the fantasy, sci-fi and horror.
Correct.
And 11 and 12 is on the series box.
Couple of things I'd like to say. Dog stickers, nothing to do with books.
Nothing to do with books.
But
nothing
I just
to do with
really like the stickers. No. And the other thing is, when it comes to series...
It is just the first
it's just the first book in a series. I don't have to read the whole series.
But obviously, if you like it, you
if I liked it, I'd carry it on. But, yeah. So I think...
I haven't explained.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm getting excited.
As you see, those have got the numbers on. She's going to roll both those dice. whatever number it lands on, I will then grab that box, open it up,
Yep.
and pick out
Whoa.
a book like that. And then that is the book you will be reading.
Whether I like it or not.
Whether you like it or not.
And these are all books, as I say, that I own.
Yep.
On different bookcases around the house, and I've not yet read.
Yes. So are you ready to roll your dice?
I am ready. I'm nervous, but I'm excited.
Don't be afraid.
I'm a little bit
These
afraid.
are all your books.
Yeah, at some point, I've bought them.
So you must have liked them at the time.
Exactly. Give them a little mix.
There you go. Roll.
6
And
a
a 2.
2.
What is that?
It's 8.
That is 8.
You made me think then.
That is this box.
I was like, 8. Fantasy, sci-fi, and horror.
So,
okay,
here we go.
I'm up for this.
Right.
Yeah.
Put them boxes out of the way.
Uh-oh.
And then here we go. Let's open the lid. Whoa.
Can I mix?
It's not a Chinese takeaway. It's actually...
It does look like the
books.
little pots we
That's
get the
what I
dinner
get
in.
my rice in normally. But it's not rice. It's books.
Right. Have them a good mix.
One for that. There we go. Put back in. And here we go. I'm going to pick.
Okay. Come on. You're making me nervous. You just keep rolling the paper around.
It is...
Can you read my
it's
writing?
a fantasy in the box room.
So that's a little spare room,
And
yeah.
it's semi-charming kind of life.
Oh.
I don't know what that book is. I can't actually recall that book. I don't know that one.
You know, I'm 42 years
Yeah.
young.
Soon to be 43.
Yeah, right, anyway.
If anyone wants
42.
to buy presents.
Oh, yeah, August 3rd.
Yeah.
I think this is one of the middle grade books that I've got. It's like Ever After High or Monster High or something. It's not Monster
a kid's
High.
book.
Yeah, it's a kid's book, I think.
So I've picked you a kid's book.
But it is kind of fantasy.
It is fantasy.
Because
but it is also a kid's book.
They're Ever After High.
But a kid's one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to go find it because I really can't remember what it is.
Maybe you should
But
go
that
find
is
it.
that is the book.
That is the book. Nice easy one. It's the opposite of
It's
the one
actually really slimline.
I was going to make you pick Bill Clinton.
Yes.
But that's
yeah,
the
Bill
opposite.
Clinton and James Patterson is like 600-ish
Yeah, that's the opposite
pages.
of that. That's probably about 50 pages, and it's
No, it's not. It's about 200.
about 200 pages.
If it's the one I'm thinking of.
big font, probably with pictures.
Yeah, it might have a few pictures in.
Yeah, so it's a nice easy one for you.
Well, at least it'd do good on my Goodreads challenge. Because it'd be a short book. I can bump up my my goal. Well, there you go.
That's it. That's the drama for the month.
That's the drama. So we are now ready to play the Spin the Wheel game, the TBR game of Spin the Wheel, where the wheel will select me a option, and from that option I shall choose a book. So I've got different options, for example, a romance book, fantasy book, library book, thriller. Nathan gets to choose a book, that kind of thing. So I'm going to count to 3 and then I'm going to spin. All right, let's do it. 1, 2, 3, spin. What's it going to be? What's it going to be? Ta-da! It's a romance book, which is pretty cool because I've actually been really enjoying my romances lately. So I'm happy about that. I'm going to find a nice romance book for next month's read. So yeah, cool. That was a good result. Okay, so the book that I've chosen for my spin the wheel option, I got to pick a romance book, and the book is Emily Henry's Book Lovers, which I'm very excited to read. I've heard so many good things about Book Lovers and Emily Henry books in general. This says one summer, 2 rivals, a plot twist that they didn't see coming, and also it's a library book, so you know, I need to get my library books done. So yeah, that is going to be my choice from the TBR Spin the Wheel game.